Hi, the space hotels, we all love them, and they are everywhere. When you look up to the sky, those shiny little dots, all of them are successful startups of shiny little hotels. It's probably something that a pitch person would say to an investor. I highly doubt that any of these space hotel startups are going to succeed in the next 10 years at least, because we are still struggling to send the regular rockets to the space. At least 10% of them fail at the launch, and retrieving them is another problem. Currently, the average numbers from SpaceX for a single mission is around $150 million. We are still struggling with the human missions. We are mostly sending cargo to the space. It is very costly to make someone live in space or in another planet. You need to take care of course, food and water and oxygen and pressurize the environment. And it shouldn't be toxic, and there's radiation, tons of radiation in space or other planets. Also, there's dust in moon that shouldn't go into anything. There's also the reverse rule of we shouldn't contaminate the other planets with our own bacteria or viruses or other stuff. With all of this in mind, just hear me out on this new startup idea or the start of this new scam idea. I'm not saying it's a scam, it just sounds very familiar, the word startup and the start a scam. They just match in my mind when you say there's a $1,000 application fee that is non-refundable just to apply to this mission of going to a hotel in moon in 2032. Then you're going to pay around $250,000 in a month to make an actual reservation. And after the reservation, if the mission actually comes in 2032, you're going to pay around $10 million to go to that mission. So there's tiers of application on top of each other. To basically go to this AI image of a mission, the first mission has no hotel capacity. And I don't know, are you a computer or a random metal part in that moon lander? And after that, you are in a crater in the moon, I guess, with still no hotel capacity in mission 2. Then in mission 3, you are going to be able to go with 2 or 4 people in that cylinder of a living space. Then somehow in the same year, we have a 10 people capacity hotel with big windows in moon. What was the pressure in moon? It's 10 to the power of minus 15. So it's basically non-existent. It's around 0. It's almost like you are in space. For general public, 1 millisieverts a year of radiation is enough to be safe. And for radiation workers, you can go a little bit above that, but there are hard limits, like you cannot exceed 20 millisieverts a year for more than 5 years. So basically, we are aiming for, at the worst case scenario, a double amount of radiation a regular person would have for radiation workers. And for astronauts, we should have a little bit of headroom because there's so much radiation in space. We give them 600 millisieverts of lifetime radiation limit. So 6 times the regular person and you are done. In moon surface, you would have 1.3 millisieverts of radiation a day. That means more than what you can have in a year on Earth. So you would be getting that radiation dose pretty quickly. So you need to be protected at all times. And spacesuits and living quarters of this size, these are small sizes, they can protect you very little from these radiation from space. They help, but they are not thick walls of concrete. And at the end of the day, it almost seems like every year we see a new startup with space hotel idea and they get cancelled or like postponed to another decade. Because when it is going to be achievable with regular budgets, you are going to see most people already going to missions in moon and Mars from government missions. China and USA are pouring billions of dollars to the space missions right now, and they are still postponing more human missions. It's dangerous, risky, and it's very expensive to send people to the moon. Yeah, your $10 million is not going to solve that issue. I don't know, go buy a yacht or a private plane, which they are also very expensive too. Why are yachts that expensive? Isn't it like a floating house in the ocean? Well, when you think about houses are in a price crisis right now, it maybe makes sense for them to be that expensive. Well, one last question for you. Would you go if you would know that? Would you go if it was... Well, one last... Would you go if it was free to go to live in this living quarters in moon for, let's say, a week of living there? But you're going to be the first crew to go there. Would you take the risk? But you would be the first person to go to the moon after something like 53 years. Well, tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. I personally wouldn't accept that. I have too much to lose, like eating anything with potato in it for the rest of my life. And I don't want to become a fireball because it's 2 times the risk. You have 2 landings to go and 2 lift ups to go, 2 launches. It's like every time you're rolling a dice, oh, it's 6. I guess I'm done. Well, tell me what you think. If you liked the video, please subscribe and thank you for listening.